Parts of a mirror. So I've listed around 5 plus 2 parts of a mirror, and all of this has to be known. First is your principal axis. So this is a line which is pretty much in the center of things. Okay, so in this case, the red line over here is your principal axis. Okay, so see how it is passing through the center of this entire mirror. So this is your principal axis. Center of curvature. Center of curvature is nothing but center of the imaginary sphere. See, this is part of a sphere, is it not? So a sphere has a center, and that center is your center of the curvature. So this is your sphere, and the center of the sphere happens to be this, is it not? Make sense? Can see this? Is it that the center? This is your center, is it not? So this is your center of the curvature. Next is focus, if not principal focus. So focus or principal focus is on the principal axis, one thing. It's in between the end of the mirror and the center. Okay, let me not put it as end of the mirror. That doesn't make sense. So basically from here to the center, the mid of it is your principal focus. Okay, this is where your principal focus is. Right, that's your principal focus. Actually, I have everything listed. I should have used this, but anyways. So principal axis is this your red line. That's your principal axis. Center of curvature is your center of the, this is your sphere, and this is your mirror, right? That's your mirror. And the center is this. So that is your center of the curvature. So principal focus. So principal focus is on the principal axis, one thing. Next thing is it's half of the distance from the center to the end of the, you understood what end means, right? Somewhere over here, end of the mirror, reflecting surface actually. So there are around 16 blocks from this point to that point. I've actually counted. So half of that is around 8. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, somewhere over here is where your focus is. That's your principal focus, denoted by F. Next is pole. Pole is this point. That's your pole. So the point wherein the principal axis crosses your mirror is your pole. Next is aperture. Aperture is nothing but the diameter of the sphere. From this end to this end is your aperture. That's it. Okay, it's not curved, it's a straight line. So basically from, let me zoom out, from this end to this end. That's your aperture. Radius of curvature and focal length. Radius of curvature is nothing but your radius. Obviously, radius is from the center to the end of the circumference. So this is basically the 16 blocks is your radius of curvature. Focal length is nothing but from the focus, which is over here, right? We saw that from the focus to the pole basically. See, pole is this point. This is your center of curvature, this is your focus, and this is your pole. So the distance from the focus to the pole is your focal length. That's 8, that is 8 blocks. Let me repeat the entire thing. Principal axis is that line. This is also imaginary line, which passes through the center of curvature, focus, and the pole. Center of curvature is center of the sphere, which the mirror is part of. Principal focus is on the principal axis, and it's between the pole and the center of curvature, exactly in the middle. Pole is a point where the principal axis crosses the mirror. This point is your pole. Aperture is the diameter Okay, if you imagine, if I happen to look at from this angle, so basically from this end to this end is your aperture. Actually, that would have been a better diagram. Let me have a look at it. I've taken that. Yeah, this is, I think this is okay. Right, from this end to this end is your aperture. So radius of curvature is nothing but from the center to the pole. Basically, this is, if I imagine this to be a circle, right, which it is. A sphere is on a sheet of paper, looks like a circle itself. So from the center to the pole is your radius of curvature. Focal length is half of that. From the focus to the pole is your focal length. Right? To summarize all of this, I have this diagram which you guys need to learn to write and draw. So pole is this fourth point, aperture is this length, radius of curvature is from this end to this end, and focal length is from this end to this end. So the exact definitions, right? I'm not defined on most of it I defined, but quite a few I have not defined it per se. So we'll define everything in some time. So let's not by heart anything over here. Just let's try to understand where is what. Okay. So this is your names and this is how it looks. So one of the ways I teach my students to remember this. Let me explain it this way. So you can, okay, I'll write it. I'll write it over here. So you can imagine that it's Independence Day, and you guys have parade and everything, flag hoisting and everything, right? So you do it in your ground. The name of the ground is curvature. Again, all of this is to remember the names over here. So this is the name of the field is field name is curvature. So generally the flag hoisting takes place at the pole, is it not? And the pole is generally at the corner of, okay, not a corner, but at the end of the, not end actually, on the circumference of the circle. So this is where you guys generally hoist the flag, is it not? So this is called the pole. Pole is where the flag hoisting happens. And generally the principal with a guest walks from the center of the ground towards the pole. So this is from the center towards the pole. Who is walking? Principal. Okay, actually it's principal, but anyways, you guys got the point. So she's walking with a guest exactly in the center between the pole and the center. Two of your friends are talking. You guys know those two people who talks all the time. Maybe it's you itself. So everyone has a very good friend whom you guys pretty much talk all the time. So you guys are talking, or two friends whom who talk all the time. So they are talking. They happen to disturb the principal, and she gets pissed off, and she shifts her focus towards them. She stares at them so that they be quiet. They'll stay quiet. So her focus gets distracted between the path of the principal axis. Okay, so pole, center, and the focus. Does this help to remember? Right, I hope so. So this is how you guys can remember the names and radius and focal length. That should make sense. It's just length. What else? That's it. The definitions and everything we'll be learning in time. Main definition is your focus that we'll understand once we do a bit more of the syllabus. Okay, so now pause and just copy this. That's enough.